Welcome to the Laboratory, a video series brought to you by MİRACLE's Innovation Labs.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Laboratory video series. This is Aditya Chenny, working as lead for MİRACLE Innovation Labs. I'm here to explain you about our MİRACLE stankometer, which we have built a small IoT demo using Watson IoT platform and IBM Bluemix. So I'm going to take you through the quick presentation followed by a quick demo to understand the things that we have built at MİRACLE. Today's agenda would be introduction to IoT, sensors, actuators, and devices, the things that we used in demo, and the IBM Bluemix innovation platform, which has been helping our developers a lot for building your applications in more agile way and scaling your applications at what extent you need. Also, I'll be talking about Watson IoT platform, how it's been helping the developers to build IoT applications very rapidly, adding the devices to Watson IoT Cloud. Then I'll take you to understanding about the IoT Foundation. That's a service that IBM is providing. And then I'll take you to the architecture that we defined manually. We defined for this particular demo. And I'm going to take you through the live demo from thereafter. Explosion of possibilities. This slide mostly explains you about the endless possibilities of the Internet of Things. Internet of Things has been there early 1919s, but it's been changing a huge when coming into 20s. If you can see the graph, there's about 50 billion devices will be connected to in 2020. With that being said, if you can see in 2017 and 2016, there are about 28 billion devices that have been connected and communicating with each other. So the main thing over here is there's a lot of things happening between in between the IoT space. So you'll be having your smart watches talking to your refrigerator, or your cell phone talking to your washing machine or your car, and making the things connected in much more better fashion to get these things connected. So that's how the IoT has been getting huge in terms of to the next level to gain their exposure about developing applications in this and making the things more interactive to get the devices controlled in much better fashion. I'll give you a quick example of how the things have been changing nowadays. It's been changing from homes to the retail stores, and this IoT is playing a huge role in converting, in changing the things rapidly. So there's a small example that I usually come up with in these type of presentations. So we usually have our mobile phones talking to our refrigerators and letting us know how much milk is left over in your refrigerator, and asking you to predict to get the milk if there is any insufficient amount of milk that's there in your house. That's how the things are being connected from your home to the retail store. So that again, your phone is connected or your car is connected to the retail store, and it directs you to the nearest store. And by the time if you go there's already milk packed for you, and you can just carry out and walk out of the store. That's how the things are connected, and the possibilities are endless with the Internet of Things. What can you do with the IoT data? The first question comes out in everyone's mind, right? So there's a lot of data that's coming out from these sensors and the devices that are connected to the cloud, and each data is really important for us, and everyone thinks what we can do with this particular data. So I have some things that I can share with you. The first thing is about the prediction, the predict. So how can we get the patterns recognized in the huge data that's coming out from these type of sensors? So the patterns can be recognized, and from thereafter we can predict, perform some sort of predictive analytics on top of that data to act in a much better fashion. So that way we can predict things happening worse or things happening much better. So that's how the predict comes in. Coming to the monetize, so it's about data. So everyone wants the data to use that in a right purpose. So a lot of data that's coming out from these sensors can be exposed as REST APIs, and that can be given to developers to access these APIs. So, for example, the weather company, that's how they're doing. They have been giving the REST APIs to predict the weather, to get the predictions from the weather. So that sort of things are happening in terms of producing. They have been producing some money in terms of accessing those particular APIs. That's how we can change our data into the value of the data that's been showing over there. Extend, so obviously, so lots of data that's there in your platform or your system of records, and you want to use the data for different purposes. That's where the developers can access this sort of data in the forms of REST APIs to build their innovative ideas, to control their applications which are being controlling or which are being developed by the developers. So coming up with the last one, the control part, that's where the huge IoT is right now. It's not about connecting things and sending the data to the cloud. That's been a way old-fashioned. So everyone is doing that thing. But really, the cool thing that we have to focus more and think about is controlling your things back and forth. That's how the machines or the homes or the retails, whatever the things that are connected, we should be able to connect those things through the network. So that's the main thing that's happening right now in the IoT space. So that's how the actual demo that we built is mainly focused on controlling over here. The control part is mainly focused in this video. So yeah, that's what the bottom line says. Control your car with a mobile device, or predict machine health and failure within a sensor. So based on your data that's coming out from your machines, we can predict, we can define the patterns that's coming out from the data, and we can say when is your machine going to fail in the near future. That's how we can do the predictions and controlling of your things. IBM Bluemix and the Watson IoT platform. This is the platform that we have been using to connect these devices and the sensors to the cloud and start publishing your data onto the cloud. IBM Bluemix is like a cool platform for the developers, which is being provided as a PaaS solution. There's a lot of services that are there in the cloud, that are there in the IBM Bluemix platform, where the developers can quickly go and build rapid applications in just like few clicks. So the Bluemix platform is providing you agility and the quality and also the security across the platform. So they have been extending a lot of services, and you can deploy and manage your hybrid application seamlessly across the board. So you can do that. Entire CI/CD pipeline is also available on the Bluemix platform. So similarly, all the requirements that are there for the developers is being available. So whatever things that the developer wants to do, he can just go into the platform and find out what is required for his application development. So that's how the sort of things are there in IBM Bluemix, and you have a very flexible pricing. So you can be paid only for the things that you have been using on the cloud. So that's how it's so tightly, like it's so engaged with the developers to build this sort of applications in the cloud. IBM IoT Foundation, IBM has been released this quite long time. It's been 2 years, I think, 2 to 3 years that IBM has released this IoT service in the market, and IBM Bluemix has this service in the catalog to use for connecting your devices to the cloud in terms of publishing your cloud device data. So it has like different types of phases, like you can do secure communications. So IBM is providing that particular thing for your application. So when you want to connect your device has to be secured, and the connections have been handled by the IBM Bluemix platform. So responsive connectivity. So your device can be connected in a much more response fashion, so that whenever the device is connected, you will be getting those notifications. Those responsiveness are very much maintained in IBM Bluemix platform. Also, we have device management as well as storage and access to data. So there's a lot of data coming in, and we have some storage storage things that we can store your data in forms of historical data can be stored over here based on timings. So if you want to store the data day-wise or weekly or monthly, you can do that as well. So device management, that's the main part over here. So it's not going to be a one single device or two devices that's been connected to the cloud, but usually we have thousands of devices that are connected to the cloud for sending the data. That's where we have to maintain or manage these devices and the firmware updates that are going to be coming on these particular devices. So everything is being managed and controlled by a single platform, which is very easy to understand, and we can quickly play with this platform, and it's much robust, and we can use this for our IoT application. So understanding the things. So this is a quick architecture that IBM is providing, and so how the things are connected. So what is your gateway and what is your protocol that's used for sending your messages or the data to the cloud. So if you can see the diagram over here, we have a device gateway. So the gateway may be anything. It may be a Raspberry Pi, or it may be a Beagleboard or Intel Edison or Arduino. Can be your edge device sitting on your on-prem and connected to this MQTT protocol. So MQTT is a protocol which is used for sending your messages, publishing your messages to the cloud. So it's a lightweight protocol which has been used for these sort of IoT applications. So IBM is also supporting HTTP protocol as well. If you go back to the documentation, there's been a lot of documentations that you can use for HTTP also. But the secure way, or the most thing that all the IoT applications are using is MQTT, as it's so lightweight to transfer your messages from the devices to the cloud. And here sits the Internet of Things Foundation, which I was previously explaining in the previous slide about the platform that's helping us to control the data and the devices over here. And from there, on top of that, you can have your REST APIs built so that the developers can access the data that's coming out from these devices and build some sort of applications to just do the control part over there. So on the bottom layer, you have your application analytics. So a lot of data is coming in, and that's been huge data. So where the developers are trying to put that data in an aligned fashion so that the end user can understand what's happening over there in that particular application. So we can provide analytics and insights for the business that can be much helpful for our business right now. So everyone is trying to build analytics on top of the data. Finally, we comes to our tank-made architecture. So this is an architecture that we have been built for our demo. So if you can see over here, we have components connected to Arduino. So these are on the left-hand side. These are the components connected to the Arduino. Okay, so we've been using Arduino or the Raspberry Pi. I already said the gateway may be anything that can be used for sending your MQTT messages to the Watson IoT cloud. So we've been using Raspberry Pi or the Arduino as a gateway for publishing our messages, and we have a control circuit which have been regulating your power supply, which has to be given for the components. So that way we have been controlling the power over the board, and we have built a dashboard on top of this to control the things. So the dashboard is of React.js, and it subscribes for the events which has been published to the Watson IoT platform. So if you can see on the right hand side, on the right corner side, you have Watson IoT platform exposed as APIs. So we've been sending the device's status to the Watson IoT cloud. All the messages has been published in the form of JSON, and we have a dashboard built on top of that to monitor the water flow and the component status that is being available on our application. So I'll be showcasing you the demo, so that way you can understand in a much better way of what the things are happening in real time. Okay, it's time to a demo. Let's go and see what's happening with the motors and the Raspberry Pi, and how we are controlling the things like the Raspberry Pi and the faucets that are there on the architecture. Let's go back to the demo. Okay, let's see the quick demo over here. If you can see on my web page, there's a dashboard, but that we have been customly built on React.js, which I already mentioned in our previous slides. So this is a dashboard that we have built. So we have been simulated this model for 2 tanks, where we will be showing the real metrics that's coming out from the devices, which you can see on the right hand side. There's a quick sensor that we have placed. We have flow meters, Raspberry Pi,
and a controller which is controlling the power supply throughout all the flow meters and motors. And we do have a component page. So we've been providing a user experience for customer or the admin to just control the overall components from one single dashboard. So if you can see, we have motor 1, motor 2, and faucets where you can just turn on, turn off, and control your motor speeds also over here. So I have my scripts running behind the scenes. So I have my Python server running on my Raspberry Pi, and I have my Node.js server running for my web application over here. So I'm just going to turn on my motor 1. If you can see, there's some noise coming out from here. That means the motor 1 is turned on, and you can see the layout notifications over here, which the motor speed has been increased to 75. And we can go and see on the dashboard where, yeah, here you go. We have the water level that's been rising. So you can see the water is pumping in into the inflow tank. That's the delivery center tank 1. So we just turn on the motor that itself is pumping some water for us. And we can control this again if we can go back and turn off this. There you go. The motor got successfully turned off. So that's how we are keeping track with all the data that's coming in, and we are displaying in nice graph charts. That way the user can see and calculate how much water is being pumped in and how much water is being pumped out daily. So I can also turn on my tap parallelly. Yeah, if you can see on the outflow, so I already turned on this second motor, which is the outflow of the tank, and we can see the metrics coming over here. It's 150 milliliters being pumped out from the tank, so that way how much water is being pumping out from the tank can be also monitored over here. That's how I'm controlling over here. I'm going to turn off right now. So I turned off all the motors and the faucets. Cool demo for us. For more videos, you can go and subscribe to our channel, which is at miraclesoft.com/amlabs. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for watching The Laboratory, a video series brought to you by Miracles Innovation Labs. For more on innovation, please visit miraclesoft.com/thelabs.